Hi friends, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Martyna. A very warm welcome to all of my new subscribers because we've had quite a few and I am very grateful for you guys. And also a very warm welcome to all of the ladies who have been with me for a while. Absolutely grateful for you too, for all your support, for all your wonderful comments. And so today I think I have a very fun little project for you guys. This is going to be our mask making video, but I am hoping it's going to be really relaxing and that we will be able to chat a little bit. But this is what we are going to be doing. So these are some altered shabby chic, I would call them, paper clips. And let me maybe show you. I have a piece of paper here. So this is what they would look like on the edge of a page. You could make them so they slide the other way, of course, and I am definitely going to do a few of those. But look at how cute they are. And again, this is another project and that is just a great scrap pasta. So I am going to be using scraps of laces and fabric for this one, but you could very easily do the same thing with paper scraps. And also I have some just little decorations like buttons, like I have a postage stamp here, some trims on this one, and so I think we are going to have fun making these. So what would you need for this project is, of course, some paper clips. I'm using these. These are quite small, but like the larger or the longer your paper clip is, the larger cluster you can make. But I think, you know, even with this size of a paper clip, this works quite well. And if I have my ruler, I can tell you guys, just in case you're interested. This one is just slightly bigger than an inch, so maybe, I don't know. I don't know how inches work, if it's smaller than a quarter, but slightly bigger than an inch. And what else would you need? So the way I made these particular ones is I started with a piece of cardstock. So I have a few scraps of cardstock for my base, which are about the width of my paper clip, slightly smaller to kind of compensate for those curved edges. But basically I am going to be folding my cardstock in half, cutting a piece of this like that, and just sliding it here, like that. So this little thing is sort of my base for then making my clusters. So you would need some cardstock if you would like to make these the same way I do. Now, why I'm using cardstock and not just folding my laces and my fabrics around this edge of the paper clip is that I just find it easier to work with a bit of a more stiff base. I feel like just fabric or just lace as my base of the cluster would be a little bit too flimsy, and this is not flimsy. This is nice and sturdy, and it can really just hold something, whatever you want it to hold on your page. So some strips of fabric, of cardstock that are the width of your paper clip. Then I have some scraps of fabrics and laces, and I have a lot more laces to the side here, so I'm going to be grabbing those. I then have some buttons. Some of them are vintage and really pretty. Some are not vintage, just for decoration. I have picked up a picked out some postage stamps, vintage postage stamps, and maybe I will use them. I really like the way this one looks. So I chose some with more like either neutral colors or just a bit more monochrome, so that they can work with whatever we create. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to start with my cardstock base, and it doesn't have to be this long, as you can see. I think, yeah, this one is shorter, so and my cluster is still bigger than that, so this is just, you know, to have anything like sturdy, and then you can build upon it and all of your edges can overhang, so don't feel like you have to be sort of constricted by the size of your paper. So let me first start with that. I'm just going to be folding. I already cut this piece of cardstock to be the size of, or the width, sorry, of my paper clips. So I'm just going to be folding it like that and cutting it, and maybe this one I can have a longer one. And what it also does, I think, is that you have some interest on the back of your paper clip. Now, of course, this is going to be you're going to slide it on the page, so you're usually going to see this side only, but when you just take it off, I just want to have some nice paper. I have some Tim Holtz cardstock on these ones, and so yeah, I'm just going to prep. Maybe some of them I do this side. I'm just going to prep my paper clip first, and then we are going to have fun decorating them. And maybe let me just show you how I would do it. So you saw me slide it onto the paper clip. Now you can decide before you start doing your cluster which way you would like your paper clip to slide on the paper. But either way, this at this point, you just take some glue and you glue it together, those two sides. I'm going to put some more glue where my paper clip is to make sure it's nice and secure. And then you close it up. And I'm probably going to ink around the edges, at least of the back side, whichever I decide is going to be the back side. And here is our base, you know, ready for adding all of the little bits and pieces of fabric. So I also think I would choose papers that are either slightly more neutral, although I don't know, you don't really see that much when you collage all of your, there is a little bit that you can see. So maybe choose papers that are slightly more neutral with their patterns, or something that's just going to match, because I think those cute little roses on the mint green background are going to look nice with whatever I decide to go with. And maybe I think this paper might look nice as well. So let me first just prepare a few of those, and then we can decorate. So how are you guys? How was your weekend? Mine is actually still in progress because I am filming this on Sunday, so a day before I hope this video will go up. And yesterday my mom and my sister came to visit me, and okay, let me see how many I have. And we went to a shopping mall, which, oh, I get so tired and overstimulated in shopping malls. But, you know, I live in a city where there's so many people here, and they all seem to love to congregate in shopping malls. But we went to start purchasing some baby clothes, which is just so, I don't know, it just, I think, made everything even more real to me. The fact that that I'm pregnant with my first baby, and that she's going to be here in, well, less than 3 months, if everything goes according to plan. And of course, baby clothes are just so sweet and so cute, and there was actually a lot of choice. So we spent some time there, just picking and choosing what we thought was pretty, but also practical. Because before going, I did a lot of research. Because this is going to be our first baby, I really, I feel like I don't know anything, you know. So I did a lot of research. I read and watched the videos of what people recommend. And so I wanted those baby clothes to also be easy when using by the parents, especially those first few weeks where we are just getting used to everything. So for instance, there were a ton of very, very cute and pretty little clothes, but you would have to put them through the baby's head, for instance, or the whole body of the baby. So I would avoid these ones, and I would rather focus on some of those that have the opening throughout the whole piece of clothing. So it's going to be easier. At least in the beginning, you know, because then when we are more practiced, then I think we can decide to get some other clothes. But for those first few weeks or months, I really just want to try to make our lives as easy as they can be, given that they are not going to be very easy at all, of course, with a new baby. And yeah, and I also I'm just going to be gluing these now. I also just looked at the materials that the clothes were made of, although, to be honest, even in the shops that we went to, and those weren't any super fancy shops at all. Even then, most of the clothes were 100% cotton, with those certificates of safety, so they can be safely worn by babies. And I also didn't go crazy with the amount of the items that we got, although, you know, it would be easy to, because they are so cute and pretty. But I have still in the back of my mind the fact that I don't know what size the baby is going to be really when she's born. So I didn't want to spend a lot of money on clothes that maybe she wouldn't be able to wear, or she would wear for a week. So I think what we're planning to do is just have a good starting point. So a few items of clothing in some of the sizes that are most common among newborns, but then we will just see what works, what fits, what works best with us and with her and with our lifestyle. And she's going to be a winter baby. My due date for now is the 2nd of February, so in the middle of winter really. So I also had to take that into account, and I think we will just go from there and make some additional purchases as we need them. But yeah, it was really hard to control ourselves. We really loved so many of the cute little baby clothes that were there, and also my sister. So it's interesting, but I've heard that this can happen, although I honestly don't know how. But my sister has a friend who, throughout her whole pregnancy, with all the ultrasounds and checkups, she was told she was going to give birth to a baby girl, and then she gave birth to a baby boy. And so all the pink and florally things that she got were a little bit, you know, I mean, everyone can wear whatever they want, and like, for instance, my favorite color is blue, and so I'm definitely going to be dressing my baby in blues, even though she's going to be a girl. But it's just, you know, I don't know how this can happen in this day and age, of course, because maybe years back when all of those like ultrasound machines weren't so detailed. But nowadays I honestly don't know. Although even my book, I have a book about pregnancy, even there was a piece, like a paragraph that told about this exact situation. So that's a bit crazy that you can, and it seems to be happening this way specifically, so that they think you are going to have a girl and then you have a boy. So I don't know, you guys, but for now I think it's going to be a girl, and yeah, we will see. Actually, this week, yes, on Thursday, I have my third prenatal ultrasound. So I have ultrasounds about 3 to 4 weeks, which is great. But this sort of prenatal trimester sort of ultrasound is a much more detailed examination, and the lady just looks at everything. She measures everything, just making sure there are no risks for the pregnancy, checking if there are any signs for any like genetic conditions, chromosome conditions, something like that. And so we will have our third one for this third trimester on this Thursday. So I'm very much looking forward to it, because it gives us the clearest view of the baby, and it can even generate a 3D image of the baby from the 2D ultrasound image. So that's quite incredible, to be honest. So I can't wait to see her, and Darek is coming with me, of course. He loves to see our little baby girl, just as much as I do. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. Okay, so now that I'm done with all this prep, let me start with some decorating. So I did pull out some lace scraps, but this is not enough lace for me to work with. And also, of course, some fabrics, but I think I would like to start with building sort of a base from lace. So I have a few pieces here, maybe something like this. Oh, this is very cute, so maybe I could actually use it for something else. I have this one, and also this is the same lace but just coffee stained. I have this piece. So first, something to just build a base. I have this, which I really like. I like those sorts of cotton eyelet laces. Okay, so let me start with just something, you know. I'm going to take a piece of this, and so I am using the paper clip now sort of as a template, but I am not going to start gluing anything down yet. And I think I might want to mix maybe different types of laces and different colors. Let me see how this one would look. This is very delicate and really nice to touch, sort of. So maybe something like this, and maybe I could use a piece of this beautiful fabric that was gifted to me quite some time ago. And I'm using it like the tiniest pieces just because I don't want to use it all up, I suppose. Okay, maybe like this. Do I want, perhaps, I'm just looking what I have here. I have a little bit of this trim that could look really nice. And so when I have enough pieces for a sort of like a base, before I add any more decorations, I am going to be using my stapler so that I can keep everything in place like that, and then I don't have to worry about not sort of remembering how everything was placed. So I'm going to be using my not wet glue but hot glue for this. So I'm just now thinking maybe a button here would look nice. So what do you guys think? I think this one would look really nice like that. It's very cute, I think, with just one button. And maybe I would use a bit of a pink thread to stitch it on. So let me just build a few of those clusters and see what we can make with them. Maybe I'll cut it like that. How about I use a piece of this and then this. Maybe just a piece of this beautiful gold. Can I fray it a little bit? Yes. So it's not as perfect. Oh, but it's gorgeous. It's very pretty. And perhaps I would like to use, I have this piece, the tiniest little piece of blue lace that I would also like to use. But maybe not with this gold. Maybe with this gold I could use a piece of this stunning fabric. kind of, oh, this is going to be very pretty. And how about I have this button, and if I use the back side of it, I think the back side of those vintage buttons is often more interesting than the front side. So maybe I could use it like that. I think I love it. So let me just try to grab all of those pieces with a staple. And yeah, perhaps this will go here. Okay, 2 more before I start gluing things down. So maybe maybe I could use a piece of this eyelet lace. Just fray the edges again, just a little bit, put it maybe slightly off-centered like that. A little bit of this lace, this beautiful blue one. And maybe I could pair the blue with, oh, I have some of this trim, which is just the most stunning piece. And again, I am using it very sparingly. Do I have any like blue postage stamps? I have this one, which is more sort of mint green. But maybe this could work like that. And then I could have two little buttons. Maybe something along these lines. Yeah, I think I love it. So let me move the buttons and let me try to staple this cluster together, and then we will go with wet glue. And then these buttons are going to be stitched here. So it's such a quick process also. How am I with filming? 27 minutes. Not so bad. Not so bad. Okay. And another one, and it's just very relaxing. Putting or gluing papers together or gluing laces together is always just such a relaxing activity. So I do hope you guys will join me with this. Maybe let's try to use a smaller piece like that. This one could be more in those brown tones. I could perhaps try to use a piece of, this is quite hard to position, but something like that. I have the tiniest scrap of this crochet lace, which I also think would be nice here. So maybe something like that. I just don't like how straight this edge is. So let me fray this a little bit. Let's use a staple. Okay, kind of holding everything. I don't think it's holding this one actually, but that's fine. And then maybe with a button, or perhaps another of those postage stamps. I do like, I think this one is upside down. I do like how they look with the postage stamps, I have to say. Okay, so we have four for the start, and now I have to decide, do I want to stitch the buttons or glue them down. And I think I'm going to stitch them, to be honest. So let me find some little piece. Oh, well, I could probably have used, yeah, I could probably have used this little piece for this cluster. Let me just try to thread it. So I'm going to be using embroidery threads to do that. Okay, and I think I will just stitch my button somewhere. How is the other side? Oh, both are pretty. So I'm going to, oh, let me do a little knot. I will not be showing you guys how I stitch all of those buttons, because it never goes right on camera, I tell you. But maybe we can do a couple together. So I would like to have it somewhere maybe behind here. So let me start from that side. I'm just going to go a few times back and forth. Well, maybe like twice, because this is quite a thin thread, not thin, but short piece of thread that I have here. Okay, but it's stitched, and now this whole thing could be glued down. And also with this one, I'm actually thinking maybe I would like to do just a little bit of stitching along the gold leaf trim, because it's quite fiddly. So perhaps I will do a little bit of a zigzag stitching with my sewing machine, although you could just hand stitch it to this piece as well. Okay, just like that, another sort of point of interest and texture. And I think my hot glue should be hot enough now. So I'm going to put it on here. And then before it dries, hopefully, try to, oops, okay, position it like that, and maybe use a spatula or something so I don't have to touch it and burn my fingers. But yeah, and if you find that any of your pieces are sticking out, in my case, because I stitched through the middle, I don't think it's going to be a problem, but you could definitely add just a little bit more glue. I love this one. Just a little bit more glue anywhere you need. And so let me take a piece of paper. This one is going to be sliding this way, so from the left hand side, and this is how it's going to look, and I think it's really, really pretty. So let's do this one, or you know what, I think maybe I could just stitch or sew my buttons on. I think I would try to use maybe some matching threads, or in case I don't have anything that I think is matching really well. Oh, this one is pretty for here, and maybe even for here, but for this one maybe I would use just some cream or some like off-white. So let me stitch those on and I will be right back. Okay, I would definitely say that stitching those buttons on is definitely the most sort of fiddly part of this whole process, and the most time consuming. So maybe with the next batch that we make, I will show you guys how I would do this if I didn't particularly want to sew them on, but I still wanted the appearance that they have been sewed on and not just glued with hot glue. Okay. Oops. So there is this one. I think it's really really pretty. Let's test it out on our paper. Yeah, really, really pretty. And you can't really see much of this background paper. And what I can see definitely doesn't bother me at all. But like I said, if it would bother you, then perhaps consider using this one. I think I want this way. Perhaps consider using a background paper, this cardstock that's more neutral, less sort of color to it. But then a lot of it is really going to be covered up if you're using fabrics or anything like that. Okay, I'm just going to glue down this bit a little bit better. Oops, and I think, oh no, we lost a piece here. Can I glue it down? No, I don't think it needs it. I think it looks nice the way it is, and the way I did it is I prefer the sort of longer piece on the edge of the page, so that's why I did it this way and not from the other one. And we have the blue, the really pretty blue one. First the base, gluing down the base of the paper clip, and then I am going to glue down the individual pieces that still needed. So like this postage stamp, just a bead of glue under it, and maybe a little bit here, because right now it's being held only by the staple. Oh, I love this one. I love these colors. I definitely want to make a bit of like a blue or blue-green journal in the near future with you guys. And this one is going to look like this, and I love how this is going to be sticking out from the page like a little tab or something like that. So that's really cute. And on the back, you're just going to see the lace, which is pretty, however you look at this. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think we can make a few more in this video. So let me just grab a few more paper clips. Maybe I can make 4 more. Okay, so what else do I have? Definitely would like to use this, some more of this, and this one. Look at this, you guys. This has a tiny little bead and a little bit of like a glittery thing. It's just such a gorgeous fabric. I have a piece of this ribbon. Oh, I know what I wanted to try. Let me try. I have maybe this ribbon, just a regular pink ribbon. I'm going to cut a piece of that and make a bow. And let's see if we can stick a bow onto one of those. I think it might look very cute. So I don't want it to be too big. And make it a little bit more fluffy, perhaps, like that. And then let's cut off these ends slightly. So I could maybe have something along these lines. These are very wide, but maybe we can do something about that. Oh, that's an already done paper clip. So let me start with maybe a piece of this lace. Oh, I have a piece of this one that I torn for something else but didn't use it. So maybe like that. I really like this torn edge. Perhaps a piece of this, or maybe not this, maybe this one. Something like that, maybe. And perhaps a little postage stamp. Well, this one is much more pink, but honestly, I quite love how this looks. So maybe I could do that, staple it together and not use buttons on this one. Because I want to show you guys that if you don't want to use buttons, then you don't have to. If you, where's my stapler? You can use whatever you have and whatever you like on these ones. And this one is going to be super quick because we don't have to do any stitching. So I'm actually going to go straight ahead with wet glue. Put this down like that. Make sure it sticks. Perhaps add just a little bit more glue under this trim. And then with this bow, maybe I could manipulate those somehow like that. Wait, which side? This is going to go this side. So how about? But I actually like it like that. So I would put a bit of glue under the bow, but also maybe under those little threads, just to make them less wide like that. So let's start with just a bit of glue here, and then maybe a little bit here, and here. It's a bit fiddly, but I think it's going to work. Yeah. Isn't this one so sweet? I think it's cute. And again, let's just test it out on a paper. Oops. And this is what we're going to have. Lovely. Love this one. Alrighty. So now let's try to actually use some buttons, but maybe without having to stitch them on. So I'm going to take a piece of this lace, maybe a piece like that. What else do I have here? Maybe this is a bit too creamy, perhaps. Do I have anything that's whitish? Like that. Then I would love to have this flower maybe somehow this way. And I also have a piece of this, and maybe just one pink button here. and maybe a tiny bit of this gold. I really want to use it somehow. Oh, and I can tear it slightly, so it's a bit less of a regular shape. Maybe something like that, and maybe a couple of little buttons here this way. Okay, so let's remove the buttons and let's staple the layers. Or do I prefer, maybe I prefer this side peeking through here. So this, this, this and this, and this little trim up here. Okay, I don't know if one staple is going to hold it all together, but then I can actually already glue it to the base. Don't have to wait for the buttons. Like this. Oh, it's very cute. And now let me just see, do I want them this way or maybe this way? Or they could also be maybe here. Oh, maybe here. I think I like it. So the way I would do it is I would use this one might be too tiny, so I would use a piece of thread, but I would only thread it through the button. I'm not going to be stitching them, and you could definitely like mass make a bunch of your buttons this way. So I am just going to create an illusion that this is stitched to something. Let me go back through the same hole and then through here, and so it does look like it's been stitched, but in fact we're going to glue it with our hot glue. So I think it's quicker because it's less fiddly with trying to do, which side do I prefer? Maybe this one actually is slightly more interesting. Oops, is this needle too big? Oh no. Is it too big? Maybe I can work with that. If I just work it like that a little bit. Yeah. Come on, one last piece. Then I'm going to double knot it on the other side. Cut off those edges. And then once again position those where I want them. Now, if you wanted to create an illusion that these are actually sewn to the lace, then just cut off those little threads. But I actually like how they look here. Let me just make sure. Maybe I want it here. Maybe like that actually, so that I am gluing them to something more substantial than just this piece of lace on the left hand side. Oops. and this is this one, and I think it is very pretty. And this is how it looks. It's so cute. I don't know, reminds me of like a skirt or something with this shape. Like that. So we have this one, and let's do these last two, maybe with a postage stamp again. Could perhaps use a piece of this. Love how torn it is. Maybe what else do I have? Do I want? This is very cute with little crochet hearts. So how about, which side is the right side up? Who knows? So maybe I could do it. Oh, let's do the other side. So this would be sticking out from my page, which I love. But then, yeah, it looks pretty on both sides. Alrighty, any other scraps that I have? This one could definitely go here. Maybe a little bit of this delicate lace. Oh, I'm really sorry, I hope I'm not too low. For the camera to pick up what I'm doing. Maybe like that. Perhaps another piece of, oh, what is this? I have a piece of this. Could I maybe make a bow out of this? How would it look like? Just this offcut from something. Oops, I don't even see if I'm pulling on the right, oh, well, on the right part. Oh no, it's just literally falling apart. But that's fine, because I could use pieces of that for my collaging. So let's do it this way. Do I want... Maybe I could actually do another with those more like warmer colors. Something along these lines, and then perhaps just because the stamp, excuse me, the stamp is quite wide, I'm going to use what I have on my inking tool and just ink around like this. So this one is going to be smaller, which is quite all right with me, and maybe a tiny little button like this. I love it. Let's staple it, glue it down, attach our button, and call this one done. Oops. Okay. I am going to need more glue under the postage stamp, definitely. Like this, and maybe a little bit under the gold piece as well. And then for this one, I think I would have to use a smaller needle, so I'm not going to bother with that. I'm literally just going to glue my button here where I want it, like that. and let's test it out. This is what this one looks like. Very cute, I think. And this, what do we have so far? Maybe with another bow. What could I make a bow out of? Oh, I know. How about some twine? I'm just going to look. I should have, oh yeah, I have this piece of this thicker twine. Maybe it could actually look nice as a bow. If not, I also have thinner twine. If it's too big, so let's just work with it a little bit and see if we like it. Maybe let's shorten those first. Oh, it's very cute, I think. It's very, very cute. Do I want a piece of this maybe underneath? Somewhere here? Yes, why not? A piece of this might be a bit much. But I don't think I'm going to be able to resist adding this. And then I feel like I would need, oops, I would need something else down here. I could use a button, maybe. Oh, how about this gorgeous stamp from Uganda? Yeah, I love all those colors. And actually with this one, maybe I'm not going to be stapling. I will just glue my pieces separately, because you can definitely do it too if that's what's easier to you. Let's put a line of glue here and attach this. Then this one is going to go here like that. Maybe this one could go here. Oops, don't want my glue dripping all over my project. Let me remove those glue strings. Okay, then we have our twine bow. Let's make sure it's stuck down properly. And I don't think I have to manipulate those strings, or maybe this one slightly. Some pieces of fabric, maybe just a bit of glue here to keep this one slightly more downward, like that. And then my postage stamp could go, where could I have it actually? Or maybe like here. Yeah, maybe here. Like this. Well, let's test this one out. This one is going to be sliding from this way. Oh, it's so cute, isn't it? I love it. It's very cute. Okay, so let's sum up what we made today. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Cute little paper clips, 11 I believe, with the ones that I made off camera. I adore them. I hope you guys like them as well. They are super cute, very versatile, because these can be a page decoration just by themselves, of course, but then you could use them to maybe hold like pieces of ephemera or pieces of some writing paper that you wanted to add to your journal, or maybe keeping your flip out pages closed, and they are just so cute and so pretty. So thank you so much for crafting with me, you guys. Happy Monday, and have a wonderful week. I think I am going to have one more video this week because I started a new project and I am very excited to share it with you guys, and it's going to be a junk journal made of actual junk, and I'm going to be using this like free jewelry catalog that I got from a store that I went to recently. So I'm going to be using these pages as my pages, as my basic pages, and also a lot of other junk and trash to create ephemera. And I already made one page, so I'm going to be filming the process of that very soon. Yeah, I would love it if you guys liked this video, if you enjoyed it, and maybe left me a comment and subscribed to the channel so you don't miss any future videos. But for now, thank you so much for crafting with me. Have a wonderful week ahead of you, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next one. Bye.